me, HGTV. Funny I didn't see you there. Come on in to my very happy, very maximalist home. My name is Isabel Ladd. I'm an interior designer based in Lexington, Kentucky, but I'm originally from Brazil. I have a full-service interior design studio here in Lexington, but I have projects all around the United States, really wherever a plane will take me. So I added this red runner. It used to be sisal and very neutral, but I am more va-va-voom, so I literally rolled out the red carpet. And here we are in my bedroom. This is one of the most special places in my home. In design, we're often told that bedrooms need to be calm and soothing and relaxing. And so I had been decorating with very beige, neutral colors, soft blues. And though that's totally fine for some who need to like relax, I wanted something more. I wanted just a jolt of energy when I wake up in the morning. So I love a juxtaposition of traditional and modern. And here in the bed, you can see that this is a 4-post bed, which is traditional historically, but there's like a lot of modernness in the headboard detail, in this fantastic neon red color. And there's also a lot of traditional moments here in the window treatments. So like just this idea of like a valance and window treatments and shades, there's a lot of layers here. And so that's just very, very full and layered and textured, which is a more traditional element. But I always like to punch something up. And so that's where I chose this velvet trim, just because velvet and this bright yellow is just like a burst. I love a tiger velvet. It is one of my signature design moves. I sometimes reference myself like a designer serial killer because a serial killer like always leaves a touch of wherever they were to say like, I was here. And that is what tiger velvet is to me. It's just a touch to say, Isabel was here. Now I'm going to take you to one of my favorite rooms in my entire house, which is my happy place, my closet. Look at how I have bedazzled her from ceiling to dresses and everywhere in between. I love this wallpaper so much that I put it on the fronts of the cabinets, on the ceiling, on the door. Look at this rickrack hardware that's just so fun. And really the only neutral in my entire house is this leopard cape. And here is my glorious Lou. So I started with this wallpaper because it reminds me of my grandmother, and I just love this like granny chic vibe of the trellis and these historic flowers. But because I always love tension in design, I selected this neon red color for the cabinets. And because cabinet doors are just like normal, I added this sink skirt. So this is easy. This is just getting some fabric and putting it on a rod and adding some fun trim. And so it has the same function of like hiding things and yet being easy to operate, but it's just more special. I have this thing with hands, and so these are fun little bits of hardware where we can like hang a towel. I could have gotten the same hand handles, but instead I just chose 2 different ones because it's just more fun that way. I want it all. So here we are in the TV room. This is a room that has undergone so many different evolutions. It actually started off as a formal dining room, and then I realized we're not formal dining room people, we are TV watching people. I wanted to feel so cozy and just being enveloped in pattern and color and just in like rich textiles. And now a moment for what I call design camo. Notice anything peculiar here? So I sew, and I love to sew outfits that I make from leftover fabrics from like a sofa or curtains, or in this case, a big old pillow. So I call this design camo because it's cheeky and fun, and me. So here we are at my screen porch which really is my favorite room of this house. So much happens here, from dining to arts and crafts, and it was such a cool space to design. So for instance, instead of just going with regular rails and spindles that you're used to seeing, I designed these motifs here and I had them custom cut. And so it not only serves as a really cool design choice for the railing, but by adding this piece here, it's also like a privacy panel. So this fantastic mural on this floor really started this entire design scheme here. I was inspired by a vintage Suzani textile when I was traveling in Morocco, and I gathered elements from that textile and designed them here on this floor. And so here we have not one floor mural, but two, because there's so much pattern that I want it all. So what I did here for these floor spaces to meld is I pulled colors that are found in this floor mural. I pulled the blues and the greens here. I also changed the scale a lot. So here we've got like a very dense, organized pattern, and here we've got a looser, more fluid pattern with a lot more negative space. So it really is about opposites and that tension and that juxtaposition. And now I'm going to take you to my backyard oasis. So here's the cabana. It's our outdoor living room. So I built this garage and then realized that the back of a garage is just the back of a garage. And so to va-va-voom it, we just poured some concrete here, threw this roof up together, and now it's just like, you know, a pool house, an outdoor living space. We watch TV either from here or from the pool. We just do so much living here. So a fun fact here in the cabana is that I designed this coffee table. I am very scrappy, queen green, don't throw anything away. So I had these pieces of stone. They were fragments left over from a countertop that I designed. And, you know, people always ask me about my arms. How do I get good arms without exercising? It's like this kind of stuff. So this is a tabletop that I can actually flip it in different orientations by moving the top and the base. So it's like Tetris. It's a Tetris coffee table. So now I'm taking you to the cocktail pool, which is the creme de la creme of this backyard, the crown jewel. So I designed this petite little cocktail pool just so it could be in balance to the backyard. I didn't want a pool that ate up too much space, and it's just so cute. She's warm, she's salty, she comes up to about right here. I had these visions of just like sitting on the ledge, drinking my cocktail, and then my kids bringing this basketball hoop. So a little high-low moment there. Now follow me as we head inside. So here we are in my kitchen. It is my favorite kitchen in the entire world, and it's all mine. So when I first designed this house, it was years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago. And I designed this kitchen completely white. White walls, white cabinet, white countertop. In time, I gained some design confidence, and I made this space an absolute reflection of me and all of my favorite things. The white cabinets, I painted this marigold color because yellow is my favorite color. I wallpapered the walls instead of backsplash. I actually went with wallpaper because I could just get more pattern doing so. And of course, the ceiling is the fifth wall, so I wasn't going to neglect that. So I papered that in addition to everything else. Ooh, and now a few fun facts about all the hardware I have going on here in my kitchen. When I design for clients, I am always measuring and trying to do everything like exactly so. When it comes to my own house, anything goes. I fly by the seat of my pants. So I received these knobs. They were a little too small. So all I did is I ordered these back plates. They're acrylic and hand-painted tortoise. And so by layering the back plate behind these knobs, it just like took up more space in the cabinets, and taking up space is like what I do and what I love. Oh, and I love a little tassel moment. So when in doubt, I betassel things like hardware. Now let me show you a very statement piece of this kitchen, which is this glorious reeded island. So I choose to incorporate wood just to bring some balance and some more organic materials to the kitchen. And then instead of adding just a regular countertop that was like solid or just more basic, I chose this countertop, which has all of these beautiful colors of some purples, there's some greens. If I had gone with a countertop that was just like more plain and subtle, to me, your eye would have just rested on that. It would have landed on that and it would have been like very stark. And one of my design philosophies is that the eye must travel. And what I mean by that is I want you to walk into a space and I want your eye not to settle in one place, but to keep on going. Oh my gosh, this is so cool, and this is so cool, and then this, and then da 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 da. Because more is more and less is never enough. And that's a wrap. Thank y'all for coming, but now it is mocktail cocktail hour. Bye.
Hi, aloha HGTV. I'm Eliana. Welcome to my home at the end of Waikiki Beach. Come on in. This house, it's a bungalow style, so it's my little beach bungalow. We're at the base of Diamond Head. We call it Leahi in Hawaiian. I'm born and raised in Hawaii, and I grew up surfing in Waikiki. Waikiki is so bustling and busy, but this is sort of this little oasis at the end of that strip where you're kind of, whoa, what is this little cute neighborhood? And it really does have such a neighborhood feel. So I feel so fortunate to get to live like a step away from the beach here. It's such a luxury to live by the ocean, honestly. I feel really, really lucky. It's really just a great neighborhood. This lanai is so great because these houses are small and so everyone needs more space. You kind of want to be outside where you can entertain or just wave to people walking by. My family and I, we barbecue, we just kind of have poo-poos. A poo-poo is an appetizer. A lot of times it's used as a verb. So let's go poo-poo on the porch, go eat some appetizers on the porch. It could be a cheese platter, or it could be a bowl of poke, or it could be chips. My husband calls it surf and sip. And so his friends will come over and they'll go for a surf and just kind of hang out here all afternoon into the evening. It's just like a kind of a community gathering spot, honestly. So, and that's just a special part of this house, really. And so I feel so fortunate this is open because it just really does blend to that indoor-outdoor living that we love to do so much. Yeah, a lot of little nooks to enjoy out here. This is one of my favorites. This is a pune'e, a Hawaiian daybed essentially. And I love this. It's a rattan, and it's part of a set that was my tutus. Tutu is my grandma. We say tutu in Hawaiian for grandmother. So it's a lot of history in these pieces of furniture. Anyways, yeah, come on inside. So this is our living space, kind of where everything happens. This rattan set, along with the daybed, was part of my tutus collection, and I covered the cushions at one point years ago. And then, of course, I have a mixture of other pieces. My friend does this beautiful partnership with Moroccan rugs, so she brings in these gorgeous rugs. I made the pillows myself because I love fabric, and so I collect it incessantly and then make a pillow, and also the yellow. And of course I have a huge collection of books. The books in here are all really special to me. And of course my book. And the surfboards, my son's favorite board right now, and yeah, any Hawaiian family has a lot of surfboards. There's a lot more outside too. And then I always like to have my house full of flowers. I think when you kind of create your own home, it's really just a collection of things you love and things that sort of speak to your travels or are meaningful to you. And I don't really worry too much about it all sort of going together because I think it just does if you love it. It's just part of you. So I just love this style. It's really island home to me. Yeah, so I guess you could call me a lei maker by trade. My tutu was a really beautiful lei maker and known throughout Hawaii for her lei. And so, I always grew up making lei, but really started in the last 15 years sort of using my lei for photo shoots and selling a little bit, but more sort of just putting my lei out there. And in the last 2 years, I created this book, Lei Aloha. I really wanted to sort of put that out into the world and show this huge part of Hawaiian culture that is so integral in all of our lives. And I'm so grateful that it's out in the world. So I'm wearing a lei po'o. Lei po'o is a head lei, po'o's head, so it's a lei po'o. Again, my tutu was pretty renowned for her lei po'o that she would share. And so I think it's just in us, in my sister and I and my cousins that, a special occasion's happening, you're gonna wear a lei. It's a special occasion having you here today, so I'm wearing a lepo. I'm, born and raised in Hawaii. I'm Native Hawaiian. I feel like my tutu, my grandmother especially, had the greatest influence on my own personal style. All of our hats pretty much are from her collection. Most of our art. I love that about my tutu is that she really appreciated the art and the artistry, and I was raised with such a strong identity and a strong sense of what it was to be from Hawaii, so I'm so grateful. So my house is so small. Me and my husband always joke that it's just like 2 large steps into the den. It's just a nook, it's a spot for reading, a spot where we can display art, photos, books, shell lay from Tahiti, and things from Hawaii. Artwork by my son, of course, random pottery, all of our found items, our found objects, our favorite things, anything that makes your heart happy. I love having a big display case. This is a beautiful bar cart. I love the blue. It's sort of become this grounding point in my house. So of course it has, bar cart things and great cocktail books, inspirational Aseline travel books. And that's sort of my area for people we don't have with us anymore. Another step takes you to our dining room. It can be homework, this can be family dinner. It's just a gathering spot, and this table is an heirloom piece from my tutu, koa, a beautiful use of that precious wood. These 3 pieces are Alan Akina, the same artist is over there. Good friend of my tutus, and he really just found so much beauty in the Hawaiian maiden. These all remind me of my tutu, actually, with the lei and in a mu'u, and I just love this lounging Hawaiian woman draped in lei and very royal. Those are my favorite pieces of art. Yeah, so then this is our kitchen. Most of life happens here, of course, homework, cooking. Honestly, most parties right here. This is kind of the spot. I love the space. I love the open shelving. I love to cook, so I have tons of cookbooks. I also love glassware. And a lot of these, glasses were actually my tutus, these cool champagne flutes. My other auntie makes these. She has a really cool company, another Native Hawaiian designer. So I love those. Of course, I have artwork from my nieces. I've got artwork from my son. Just again, a mixture of all the different things I love, eras and styles and everything. Another thing I love about this is just the preservation of these beautiful French doors. This is such a cool thing. And these doorknobs, you don't see this anymore. That's original, so that's not something put in. These are the original hardware. I love the attention to preserving these French doors and these windows, and it shows a lot of character. Yeah, so this is, gosh, I love this bedroom, mostly because of lying here and being able to stare out into the yard. There's so many different trees and all the different shades of green. It's just like a peaceful place. I like to keep my bedroom sort of tranquil. I do sort of like a calm space. And so besides the beautiful view of all the different shades of green, I sort of like to keep this spot a little bit neutral. My husband actually made me this beautiful wood box, which is again, another typical sort of use of koa wood. It's another heirloom piece. And I just love shells. I actually started a Hawaiian heirloom jewelry company in the last 2 years with a girlfriend. It's called Hiei Heirlooms of Hawaii, and that is what I'm wearing, these very loud bangly bangles. This one that says Meleana, which is my name, was actually gifted to my mom with my name, and then my mom wore it and then passed on to me when I was 16, and I wear one of hers. And then this was my tutu's Amelia Anna, which she gave to me when I was turned 30. This one I was given when I graduated from high school. These are made for my babies. And then the others are, primarily part of our new collection that my partner and I created ourselves. I never take them off. I surf, I run, I'm this loud all the time. They're meant to be worn, and your energy and love and supposed to be put into them every day and then passed on. And so that's why I wear so many, is because I'm not gonna take off the ones that are passed on to me and that I've been wearing since I was 16. So I just keep layering them on, But they're part of me, meant to be enjoyed. And other than, a dresser and places I can just throw some fresh flowers when I want, we have, our cozy bed. It's a place where we just hang out and stare out into the greens, like I was saying. Usually my son's in the middle. It's just, it's just a nice little spot. Let's head out to the backyard and make some lei. And this is our back lanai, another spot that we tend to just hang out at all the time. We store all of our toys here, fins, boogie boards, our bikes, way too many surfboards. Just another great spot. It's a great place to congregate. It's also one of my favorite spots to make some lei. Let's see. Finish lei. Okay, so this flower I'm working with here is called Pua Kenny Kenny. And we're just gonna layer them onto our lei needle. And what we call this style is to kui, or to string. Kui means sew in Hawaiian, so you're using a needle and thread, essentially. It just reminds me of coming up to my tutus, and she'd walk out with armfuls. And I always put a little ball at the end so they don't slide. Then our family signature would be our little tea leaf bow. I go like this, pinch them in the middle, nice and tight. Finished Pua Kenny Kenny lei, ready to share on this Aloha Friday. It's a great day to have lei to share. Thank you so much. I so loved getting to share our special home with you. This place is such a special place to us, filled with so much aloha. I love this spot, I love this place on the island, and it was such a fun time getting to show you around our little house here in the end of Waikiki, and I hope you enjoyed the tour. Mahalo.
Bonjour, my name is Marie-Laure Costa-Dujol, and this is my handmade home in Atlanta, Georgia. I grew up on a 17th century estate north of Paris, where we have an exhibition garden and a bed and breakfast. All that I learned as a child is what I use in my work and in my home every day. I'm the owner and lead designer of Le Jardin Français. We do floral, event, and garden design. So I am definitely inspired by the beauty of nature, and I bring it into my shop as well as into my house. I stumbled on this property walking the dogs in the neighborhood in 2003, and I saw a sign out in front of the gate. And I peeked in. I actually pushed through the gate and walked around the property, and from the very first moment knew that this was going to be my home. This house has 2 acres property, which is very unusual in Atlanta. I think that it was daunting for many people to live here because there was no air conditioning and there was so much land to keep up with. I am grateful I knew exactly what to do with it, and so I have changed quite a bit of the indoor and outdoor rooms, creating an oasis of beauty and nature in the middle of the city. I do live a lifestyle that is very close to nature and is based on the impact that we have on the environment and on our health. Sustainability is very important to me. I am lucky to live on this large property where I can have chickens, quails, ducks, pigeons, and guinea hen. We cook with the eggs, as well as we grow mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms on logs. I have a large vegetable garden that I cook from as well. I also make my own vinegar. Oh, and I also have bees, and we make honey from the property. I have a great quality of life here. People tell me that when they come into this home, they can definitely feel a French flair. It's not intentional, it is who I am. My absolute favorite space in this house is exactly where I am, my front porch, my outdoor living room. I love spending time here at the end of the day, sometimes in the morning. Everything you see around is definitely an element of nature that I have collected. I have a thing for pine cones. You'll see a lot of pine cones throughout the house. I love pine cones. They're just a fresh element that preserves and lasts for years and turns into wood. This is a trap for catching fish in the river. Everything is neutral and natural. This is an old dresser that I painted and opened up with chicken wire long time ago and use it to put things for when we go outside. I have treated this space exactly as I would treat the inside living room. I live with the doors open most of the time. In the spring and in the fall, the door is always open. So we don't run the air conditioning unless it's really hot or really cold. This is the outdoor living room, and it opens into the living room. There's a very relaxed and organic and natural look and feel here. Similar to the outdoor living room, it has a lot of elements of nature. You can find pieces of wood I collected over time, palm leaves, unique shells. I love pine cones, as mentioned earlier, dried coconuts, and then some flowers and plants that I have dried and preserved. I like to collect elements of nature. I see beauty in nature and I bring it inside. In my living room, you'll notice there's no television. We don't have television in the house. We live with the doors open, and my living room is for quiet time. The color palette in my home is very neutral. I use milk paint for most of the rooms. It's a natural type of paint that you mix with natural pigments, and it lasts for over 100 years, and it evolves and cracks on the wall. I have created the look of plaster on top of drywalls. These pillows are made with French dish towels that I have turned into pillows with a burlap rim. This is an old sofa I bought at a thrift store, and I cover with linens. This is what I do. This is a look I like. Just a very free, flowy, and natural look. One of my favorite pieces in the house is something that reminds me of home that I brought back from our house in the south of France from my grandparents. Is an old traveling trunk that they actually used. I use it as a piece of furniture, and it makes me nostalgic of the south of France. This piece has also a collection of elements I have gathered at the beach and unique white orchid that we grow in the greenhouse. Every room in this home has fresh flowers. This is a signature composition of Le Jardin Français, a French hand-tied bouquet that lives in a very simple glass bubble. The living room opens to the dining room, where we entertain and have dinners, as well as the kids' craft table. This is an old dresser I found at an estate sale, and I have some of my collections of preserved flowers and seed pods, brunia berries, rice flower that dries fully open, banksia from California, and this is allium. This is the bloom of elephant garlic from my garden. This is an old fixture that a friend gave me, and I covered the socket with lichen moss, because I like to cover things with natural elements. Right behind you is another one of my collection where I have Coralteria seed pod, which is a seed that grow after the bloom, the summer bloom of a local tree, and it holds this color forever once it's preserved. And there is this Buddha holding lavender, preserved boxwood, where I created the boxwood and then it eventually dried. And some of the shells I've collected in Florida. These are sand dollars and corals. This is a mushroom that grew on the side of the tree here on the property. Different elements of nature. This is another oasis of fun and nature for the children, and I spend a lot of time outside around the pool. This is the space I spend the most time in. This is the kitchen. This part of the house was added in the 60s. These were old dark wood cabinets, and so I took them apart, opened the doors with chicken wire, and covered it with the color that I like throughout the house, this blue-gray. This is a range from Italy that's wonderful to cook on. I have a chalkboard for my grocery list, and these are the eggs I collected this morning. I have some really small silky eggs and araucana, and then these are the duck eggs. So the eggs that come from our chickens are also gets recycled, the shells, and we crush them and give it back to the chickens for calcium and stronger shells. I also make vinegar, so any leftover wine finishes in these jars. It's called a surface mother or surface yeast, and so it turns into vinegar because this is a living organism that turns wine into vinegar in about 6 weeks. I love cows, and this is a local artist that has been inspired by also cows. My family in the south of France had some of our land farmed with cows that are very similar to these cows. This reminds me of home. This morning I baked some froisse, which is a traditional brioche from where I'm from in the south of France. I do spend a lot of time in the kitchen. I cook a lot, and it is the space, along with the bedroom, where I spend the most time. The bedroom is kind of like a tree house. When I got the house, it was a very tiny room with an old chimney and the original wall of the house. So I took that wall out and created a platform that looks out into the trees. My favorite piece is my bed that I made with two old French twin beds put together. In France, there were no king size that time. So I put two twin beds together to create a large king size bed. I need to be surrounded by beauty. Everything I do, everything I touch has to have beauty in it. I'm not sure how to explain it. It's part of who I am. I see beauty and I play and work with beauty. I recognize beauty and bring it to a different scale. And that's my whole home. Thanks for visiting with me. See you next time. À bientôt.
I feel like my dream for my entire life has been to own a house. I was never like what's my wedding gonna be like? I was like, what's my house gonna look like? Hey, I'm Jillian Rose Reed.
And I'm Marty Shannon.
And this is our handmade home in Los Angeles, California. When we first moved in, the house was extremely old and unupdated. So it had carpet on the floors. It was like this gross blue carpet. The walls were all wood paneled, which we left, we just painted. So wood paneling, everything was old. Like the bathroom still had the old blue and pink porcelain sinks and toilets from the 50s, which are cool now, but they did not work. They were not cute. This is our main living space. I think the thing we love most about this room is probably the fireplace wall. As you can tell, it's pretty magnificent. It was also original to the home. So it's one of the only things that we didn't want to change about the house because it's so pretty and spectacular and old. So in the main rooms, we went with brighter white, and then we played with more color in some of the smaller spaces.
The white feels like a blank canvas, and we can do as much color as we want without having to worry about clashing with the walls or anything.
This is probably my favorite corner of the entire house. I love the chair. It gets so much natural light. The addition of the cat really makes it extra cozy.
I promise she's not a stuffed cat. We will stuff her when she passes.
Marty!
What? But it's just not right now. She'll move at some point.
But this is like one of those corners where every morning I wake up and I walk in the house and I'm like, oh, it just looks so pretty and quaint and happy. Like you just want to curl up and have a cup of tea and start your day.
One thing we love about this space is all of the plants. You'll notice, like, every space that we can fill has got some green to it. It's got some hangy, it's got dynamic.
I think plants will never go out of style.
Right.
I think that adding the pop of green to a space, I think that they're warm and inviting. Also, if you have a home full of real plants, obviously there's so many health benefits to that, but even our fake plants just make the house feel happier. So one of the very first things we did in the house during our renovation was take down this wall. So the kitchen was really tiny. It was just a little galley kitchen. It had some extra cupboards up here, but we didn't feel like we would need all that space. So we felt like it would be a much better use of the space to take the wall down and have the more open concept. We do a lot of entertaining, and this definitely feels like the central space in the home. So to have it open up to the rest of the house just gives us that bigger feel. We had no experience with renovations before we started. Both of our families do. So my mom has had several interior design jobs, event planning, business owner. So she kind of had the whole design knack on lock, and then Marty's dad being a contractor. So both of us grew up watching our parents be really good at what they do. And so we picked up little tips and tricks. And so when it came to this house, we just decided, let's just do it ourselves. New counters, new cabinets, appliances, everything was super old. Actually, I think this cabinet is the only original cabinet, and we just took the door off to make it open because we felt like it was like a nice little piece of the original kitchen that we could keep alive.
It's a cool one.
Yeah, everything else is new. One of the biggest mistakes that we made was going cheaper in the kitchen.
Yeah.
We did prefab cabinets, and they're great for, what we needed, but they're falling apart for sure. The floors, we love the flooring, but it's laminate hardwood and it doesn't hold up. So places in like my office, it's
coming up in places,
it's coming up.
cracking.
When we do our house the next time, that we'll put a little bit more money into, but this was also our starter home and we were on a budget. So I feel like we did a really, really good job of designing this place on a budget and still making it look fancier than it actually is. Coming into our main bath, we definitely did a lot of work. The toilet and the shower were original from 1950, so they were cool, the blue porcelain, pink porcelain, but they were not functional, so they had to go bye-bye.
They did have to go bye-bye.
And then bye-bye. Also, this wall didn't exist. It was just a tub straight into the toilet, and we thought that was kind of gross. So we added this wall before we tiled the inside of the shower, added some new tile on the floor, and that's pretty much it. This bathroom's pretty small, so it didn't require that much work. Okay, now we're gonna go into my office.
Woohoo!
This is my little safe space where I spend a lot of my time. This actually used to be our guest bedroom, but during COVID, I needed a place to work from home, so this ended up becoming my office, and I think it's one of the rooms that I love the most in the house because of all of the color. This is the first place that we experimented with wallpaper and like a funky color couch. And I think that this office gives really good vibes. I'm an acting teacher and an acting coach, so I teach 6 classes a week, which currently are all held on Zoom, and then I see private coaching students, which happens mostly on Zoom, but sometimes here in the office as well. So this is kind of my little client place where they get to relax and, find their creative mind here in this fun little room. So this chair we actually found from a vintage furniture dealer here in LA. It's actually missing one of these little knobs because we took this chair to the high desert where we got married last October, and our wedding got blown away in a 70-mile-per-hour windstorm. So some of the things that went to the desert came back a little different than when they were taken there.
This is probably one of my favorite vintage finds. I have to be very delicate because it's glued on glued on glued.
When we bought it from the flea market, it was pretty much falling apart. So we got a pretty good deal on it. It definitely needed some TLC. It's like a fan lamp.
Yeah.
It's a lamp and a fan.
Not supposed to be either, I think. I think it's just supposed to sit there, but we like it a lot. I don't know if the fan is from the same decade as the base or any of the electronics, but I think part of the reason why I like it is because it just seems like somebody just is like, I'm gonna put some pieces of things together and sell it at a flea market. And that's sort of my whole character. While she's working in this little tiny space, I am in the little back area here. Let's go see my studio. So I am a producer of music, songwriter, anything sound related. I sometimes score for short films, do ads. When we do our ads, I score for those.
This is like the groovy room with like the lighting, and it's where the music gets produced. So we wanted to make sure it felt like really cozy, like you were stepping into somebody's music studio in like New York City or something.
I painted that picture of our house up there.
The weed sign is from our wedding. We had a weed lounge at our wedding that none of our guests got to enjoy because, again, it blew away into the
Yeah, it was good.
But we managed to save the sign.
It was just this plastic. I made this and put that on there. And so these newspapers here were found as insulation in the walls that we've taken down in the house. We have bags and bags of newspapers from the 50s and 60s. Blockbuster video here, Mortal Thoughts. You should really check that out if you haven't seen it. It also doubles as a nerd room for cards. Because I have an obsession about collecting things.
Yeah, that's what it is.
There's original Pokemon cards, that's cool. People like those.
Totally.
You guys know. Camera guys know.
Okay, so we do have one other tiny little bathroom here. This is kind of just a cute little guest bathroom. We did flamingo wallpaper because we thought it's such a tiny space, why not do something super fun with it?
Yeah, nobody sees it, so we can get weird with it.
It's actually so cute. It's I think one of my favorite wallpapers.
Yeah, it's pretty great. My favorite part of the house is definitely outside of the house. No offense to the house.
So this is actually where we spend the majority of our time outside. Our friends have named this outdoor space the Oasis. But you know, we live in Southern California, so we spend a lot of time outside. We eat most of our dinners outside, so had to have a big dining room table outdoors was actually really important so that we could really embody that indoor-outdoor life. And I feel like that's the main way that we keep this space from feeling small, is that the doors are usually open and we usually live half outside. Okay, this is Birdie. Wake up, Bird. She loves to just bask all day in the sun. She's fun. You can roll her over like a roly-poly. She's out here all day long. She loves napping on the big blue chair. The entire front yard was just dirt and succulents. And it was actually, I mean, they tried to do a drought-resistant yard, which was obviously great for California, but not so great for safety. You couldn't really walk through without having to worry if you were gonna get stuck with something. So we took almost all of the plants that were in the front yard, moved them to the backyard, and then for the last 7 years, Marty has made it this like wonderland that it is. He tends to all the plants, he tends to all the animals, the little woodland creatures.
That's right. Here's the thing. These are my babies. This is the blue agave, aka agave americana, aka century plant, aka H.P. Lovecraft demon from the darkness.
We named him Bowser.
This is Bowser, and that's Medusa. And then there's too many plants back there for me to remember the names. So
Those grow. One day we'll fix them. So when we bought the house, this area was also extremely underdeveloped. There was no tile. It was kind of just messy. So we turned it into another seating area. We really, really love entertaining. So anytime we can come out and just pile people in, we love to do that. So it was important for us. And Marty loves a courtyard.
yeah,
So he wanted to create this little like courtyard feel in between the two homes. I think the proudest DIY moment was probably our bedroom.
yeah.
Our primary bedroom is actually detached from the rest of the house. The previous owners had transitioned the space into something livable. So we felt like because the actual house is so tiny, it might be easier for us to have our primary living space in the biggest part of the house, which just so happens to be in the backyard. But Marty actually did a lot of the design in here.
So I wrapped, this big frame and wallpaper that we had. I got some cool metal signs and I drilled the holes myself, and you could see it's very DIY. But we've had it for...
We've had it for I think he made it when we moved in. So we've had this for 6 or 7 years.
Every day I'm waiting for it to the bulbs to explode.
it's
but
perfect.
It's holding strong.
Everyone always says, why did we choose the word damn? We have no idea.
No.
It just worked. Really, this became the primary bedroom because of its size, but we're also just a sucker for old, cool things, and this ceiling is just so cool with these wooden beams.
Yeah.
We could not imagine making this space storage when it looks so cool. So we sleep here instead.
The bedroom not connected to the house at first, we thought, well, what if we have to pee in the middle of the night? Or what if it's raining? Or, you know, all the million reasons you don't want to walk from inside to outside to inside again. But it has sort of forced us, but now we've learned to love it.
We really love the feel of like indoor-outdoor living, and most of our doors are open all day long anyway, so really having that separate back house just feels like an extension of the home. It's never felt like a burden at all. There are definitely ways that we've made the most out of this space. I think there's a couple key elements. One is using bigger pieces of furniture. You know, we never wanted to fill a small space with a bunch of small things to make it look more dwarfed. So bigger statement pieces. And I think the other thing that we do to maximize our space is we allow the space to constantly grow and evolve with us. This house looks nothing like it did when we bought it and renovated it 7 years ago.
Yeah. Doesn't look anything like it did 2 years ago. You know?
Yeah, it's constantly changing with us, and I think that's really what makes people go like, wow, you've really utilized the space, is that it's very well lived in, and it feels very much like us at any given time. Okay, so back into the main house. We actually have some more thrift finds here. This giant poof I found at the Pasadena flea market. I actually got it as a present for Marty, but it was also kind of a present for myself because I loved it so much.
And it mostly ended up being a present for our dog. That's her little bed.
She loves it, but it's so cool. And then this vintage sign, we actually found this in Detroit, Michigan, and had my mom pack it up and ship it to us because we loved it so much. This coffee table is also really special to us. This coffee table and the outside dining table were also built by Ziggy the Hipster, our furniture friend. And they tell a lot of stories. We had a party once. A girl thought it'd be a good idea to dance on the table. It was a great idea. The table cracked, but now it has more character and it's a fun story to tell.
And
so
now, yeah,
love it.
I couldn't tell you her name, but every time I see that crack, I think of her. So.
I can tell you her name. I think when people walk through the door, I want them to feel happy and warm. I think the biggest compliment that we've gotten is that our house does feel so cozy and so inviting. We always want it to just feel like it's everybody's home, not just like a stark place.
And I would be lying if I didn't want people to go, whoa, this is cool, every time they walk in.
Yeah, we think it's cool. We want other people to think it's cool.
English garden roses in front of a beautiful old stone home is like peanut butter and jelly to me.
Hi, I'm Tori, and welcome to my gardens in Clark Summit, Pennsylvania.
So when we bought the house, there was no garden. There was nothing. There were no flower beds. There were no pretty, plants or shrubs or flowers. Everything was just vines and overgrown shrubs, wisteria, grass, weeds. That was it.
The circle garden here is really the first thing that you see when you pull up to the house. I knew that I wanted to make it a big impact.
I had really just started getting more heavily into gardening, specifically like roses.
I dug up the circle, which was originally just all grass, and I quartered it off, and I did different varieties of pink David Austin roses, 16 to 18 different David Austin varieties, and then kind of sprinkled in with some different perennials.
I immediately just thought cottage style, your English countryside cottage style garden.
The deer love to feast on my roses, so as I got smarter, what I did was I started incorporating more very, very deer resistant perennials into these mixed beds so that it was just a little bit less work on my end in terms of having to spray to keep the deer away, like allium, catmint, calamintha, agastaki. Echinacea is not technically listed as deer resistant, but honestly, my deer don't touch it. Make sure that you are incorporating some really good textural variety, some really good variation in color, but also you want to have something to look at all season long, from spring into the first frost. I've got a lot of different varieties of ornamental basil, some silver mound, some lavender, some agastaki, the catmint here, and at full maturity, you will see a really nice hedge kind of weave its way and run all the way across from the start of the bed to the back patio. Okay, so now I'm going to take you over to the side gardens, and this is actually where I grow all of my cut flower varieties, and I do have some mixed perennial beds over there as well. Okay, so we are at what is pretty much the entry point of the side gardens. I actually put up this tunnel and planted a couple different varieties of different shades of yellow and cream David Austin climbing roses. Eventually one day, hopefully by year 4, maybe year 5, this entire tunnel will be covered and draped in beautiful golden and cream climbing roses. Okay, so I have a lot of my yellow varieties of David Austin roses, your standard rose bushes in this bed here. This is Moonbeam Coreopsis. It's actually unbelievable at nighttime. It literally glows in the dark. This is the Calamintha. This is one of my favorite perennials. It mounds beautifully. It holds its shape. It holds its bloom for a really long time. All right, now we're heading over to my cut flower area, and this is where my dahlia beds start. One of the big things with dahlias is providing them with some sort of support. So either staking individually, or if you have more than a few dahlias, it kind of makes more sense to secure them as a whole. So you'll notice that I have my garden stakes here, and I have some of this garden wire running in almost like a zigzag pattern. And again, all that does is help provide a little bit of support for the dahlias because they do get very tall. One of the things that people immediately ask me when they walk through the gardens is, why do I cover my flowers with mesh bags? And typically these would all be covered right now, but for the shoot, we took the covers off. And the answer to that question is really a two-part answer. For me, primarily, it is to prevent bug damage. So the bugs love to get in these flowers and burrow inside the petals, and they love to chew and chomp away at the petals, and they really do a number on the blooms. Because I'm growing these as a cut flower, I really have to protect the integrity of the bloom because nobody wants to buy chewed up flowers. And so the mesh bags really, really work wonders for that specific purpose.
Dahlias, the more you cut them, the deeper you cut them, the more profusely they bloom, the stronger they bloom, the more tubers they produce under the ground. They're just absolute workhorses.
So typically when I'm cutting my dahlias, I'm not gonna just cut it right here in between the first leaf set. And I think that's what most people tend to do because they don't want to disturb these buds here. I'm telling you that it's worth losing the buds. This plant is going to keep pumping out more flowers for you all season long. The more you cut it, the better it is for the plant's production. So I typically go down at least 4 leaf sets and cut there. So I always have long stems, and again, this just really helps to encourage the strength of the stem, the length of the stem, and the bloom cycle in general, and again, also the tuber production. Up here is where my orange roses start. I love partnering orange flowers with purples and shades of pink, so you're gonna see a lot of purple companions mixed in with the orange roses. This is the milkweed. It is really, majority of it has gone to seed now, but I do not cut them down because I want them to go to seed, because then they dry out and they pop open, and I have my own seeds that I save for the following year. The only downside to the milkweed is it does have a taproot, which means it's a surface growing root. So once it's planted somewhere, you cannot dig it up and move it. It is set there. We have some beautiful purple roses. This one is my favorite. It's Poseidon. This whole bed is hedged out with little lime punch hydrangeas. The hydrangeas are unbelievable this season. This is a plant that I really struggled with the deer. So putting up the fencing this year has really helped me tremendously. So there are a few different varieties of hydrangea. The panicle family, you're going to be able to differentiate because you're gonna notice that the blooms have a more cone-shaped kind of pointed head to them, not a round one. And they all typically start kind of green, white, and then as you progress through the season and into the fall, they turn to this, they'll start kind of getting a little pink, and then they finish off this beautiful, deep raspberry, almost red fuchsia color. So they hold their color all season long. They dry out beautifully on the plant, and they serve as a great dried flower. So I leave mine on until the fall, and then I cut them already dried, bring them into the house. I use them in all of my holiday arrangements, my holiday wreaths. I use them as picks in my Christmas trees. Some of them I spray paint a metallic bronze or silver and incorporate them into other parts of holiday decor. So they're also nice as a cut flower because you can cut them and they will rebloom. Echinacea, wonderful, wonderful perennial that always does really well for me. You'll see a lot of the allium. It's an ornamental onion. So it has a really good smell to it, in my opinion. A lot of people may feel differently, but it's what keeps the pests away. This here is one of my favorite Augustakis. This is Purple Haze Augustaki. And again, in this bed here, I have a bunch of different varieties of red roses. So this is a variety of feathered grass, and I actually really, really want to start incorporating this a little bit more into my perennial beds. I love these soft feathery plumes that grow atop, and I really like how the wispiness kind of breaks up, you know, the bushy kind of shrub nature of the roses and the hydrangeas.
I bought the house in October of 2021, and so we've been here almost 3 years.
And I said from the get-go that really my driving inspiration behind it was Secret Garden, which is one of my favorite movies and books growing up as a child. It was really about bringing the outside indoors and having the interior of the home mirror what I wanted to do out here in the gardens. And that's primarily, I think, because I take a very similar approach to my garden layout as I do when I am designing any room on the inside of a house. And for me, that means textural variety, variety in color, variety in height, really allowing yourself the grace and the room to kind of build as you go. I dig first and I think later. There have been plenty of perennials that I have moved just in the couple of years that I've been here. I maybe planted in one bed, and then in its second season, things really filled out, or I just didn't like how it was working with the color rose that it was next to, or you know, how it was planted, or the placement of it. It's very simple. You just dig it up and you move it. This is my home in the spring and summer months. You're not gonna find me inside working on any interior spaces. The weather breaks and I drop all nail guns and paintbrushes and stop in the dead middle of a project, and it does not continue again until the fall. It's the best form of therapy for me. I've dedicated a lot more time, honestly, to these gardens than I have to all of the interior spaces combined.
I would say my home is daring, colorful, and playful, but also elevated. Hi, my name is Danny Daisy, and this is my handmade home in Los Angeles, California. Hi, my name is Danny Daisy. I'm an interior designer, fashion designer, textile designer. I do too many things, and this is my colorful, maximal home in Los Angeles. Come on in. This is my house of color. When we moved in here, it looked nothing like this. This was nothing but a white box. So there was not a lot of color going on, and I think we really turned this house on its head. We wallpapered the ceiling, we changed out this lighting fixture for something really statement-y. Then we did this fun accent wall. I love to put an accent wall on the very first wall you see when you walk into the house. And it really gives that pop of color. We picked a really fun tile. Again, I tied in the black mantle, the hearth right here, and the dark floor. So we did this fun circle motif, tied in the pink that we have in the room, as well as the black and yellow. So a lot of people ask me all the time, where did you get your couch? This is a modular couch. This wasn't like a tricolor, multicolor couch. It's a modular couch, and we just ordered each section in a different color, and I think it makes a total statement piece, and it's a definite furniture buying hack that really worked out. I think paint is the most powerful tool in design. What it can do to a space is it's just so impactful. One thing you'll notice about this room is there's still a lot of white walls. And I'm not mad at a white wall. I think that white wall can actually be really nice and bring in a lot of light to a room, but it's really about having those pops of color. And something that I'm really known for in my design is having something a little different on each wall. This is another really easy way to start introducing color into the wall. This is just a circle mural. All we did was put a nail in the center of the wall, took a string, a pencil, drew the circle using the nail as an anchor point, and then painted it in. And this is actually a floor rug that I just stapled on the wall, which is another fun way to add texture and different elements to the wall. And rugs are a lot cheaper than a textured art piece. So another wall that you see when you walk in, the living room flows into the dining room. So I added a fun little statement here. So when you walk in, you see yellow, you see pink, then you see the green of the kitchen, which we'll get to in a moment. Favorite piece of the house is this table. How cool is it? It's different colors of marble all inlaid together. And as an artist myself, I'm all about finding artistic statement pieces for the home. It's so special and so unique, and it's really a big room given the size of the house, so I needed to find something that was gonna fill it and kind of be the centerpiece of that room. And I think this statement table is something that so many people like notice right away. So I designed all of my interiors on Photoshop first, and this was a wall I was just planning on leaving white. But then when I finished this space, it just looked so odd and I feel like I needed to add something. So I ended up doing a really simple mural. And if you can see behind here, basically it's just like a half arc that intersects with the circle and then is painted in the middle where they intersect. And then I put this really fun macrame art piece on top. And now it's a really fun statement wall, and it ties into the ceiling and it ties into the table with the color, and the rug also ties in all the color and really makes it make sense, even though there's so much color going on in this room. And if you divert your eyes up, we have a pink ceiling. I love that this house had original ceiling, coved ceilings. It has really great bones, which is really easy for me to work with as a designer. But adding this pop of color and the wallpaper just really brings your eyes up and shows the cool detail in the ceiling. And another one of my favorite hacks is switching out the canned lighting. So all of these cute little lights that you see with the brass base and the alabaster, this was just a candle lighting. We used a candle lighting converter kit and swapped them out, and it was super easy. And instead of having boring recessed lighting, we have cute little statement pieces that actually add to the design and really make the ceiling a part of the art piece as well. Let me take you to our kitchen. Look at this. Is the most fun retro green, and somehow it still works with the rest of the space. Switching out lighting, painting, hardware is really the best way to transform a space on a budget. These were recessed lighting. Now they're beautiful semi-flush fixtures, and it adds just so much character to a space. I feel like recessed lighting, I'm like recessed lighting's #1 enemy. I'm trying to cancel canned lighting. You'll see in our house how much character and fun the lighting switch adds. And you'll see again and again, there's like kind of a circle theme going on in the house, whether it's in the tile, the light fixtures, or the little accent walls that we do. When we first bought this house, all of the counters were gray. I love every color in the world. I even love black and white. I don't like gray. The counters I knew had to go, and I think adding pattern, I mean, I'm a pattern designer, so adding pattern was such a fun touch to this kitchen. We actually kept all of the original cabinetry and just painted them green. If you use a sponge roller, you can repaint cabinets, and these have stood up to a year of wear and tear. We also switched out all of the hardware. That's another affordable hack. We did these really cool brass knobs. We switched out everything for brass. We even got this gorgeous brass sink happening. I find so many people are afraid of color, which to me is so silly. I mean, color is a beautiful, amazing thing. As a little kid, I'm sure you loved color, but I don't know what made so many grown adults afraid of color. This room is a little office slash guest room. I feel like ceilings are the #1 forgotten item when decorating and renovating. And I did not want these ceilings to go to waste. I wanted them to be a part of the design. And really all it took was a little bit of paint, okay, a lot of paint, and some fun trim pieces that we added ourselves. There's always a trust the process moment when painting, because the red and the yellow started to look like ketchup and mustard. I was like, oh my God, did I make a terrible mistake? And then we added the pink accent in. Once a few more coats of paint went on, it really started to work, and then tied together by the ceiling and the fun lighting fixture we put in. I love mixing in the highs and lows of design, finding vintage pieces, and really incorporating them in the space. Okay, our best vintage finds in this house are the vintage Moroccan rugs. I just love the high pile of the rugs and the cool color, and they're really like art pieces on your floor, and I'm all about making sure every single surface in the house has something fun and interesting, and these rugs really bring life to the floors. When you live in LA, you don't have a lot of space, so we try to make the most of all the different rooms in our house. So this is actually a pull-out couch. It is possible to find beautiful pull-out couches. This one's from Joybird, and it's really comfortable. And we're able to use this as a guest room and a little office space, which is really nice. It can be hard to pull off a space that feels colorful and playful, but also grown up and I guess fancy, for lack of a better word. Welcome to our bedroom. And when I say bedroom, it's literally just a room with a bed in it, because that's all we could fit. We chose the smallest room in our house for the bedroom because all we really do is sleep in here, and it's also really a relaxing, peaceful space. We went with matching wallpaper to matching sheets. As a textile designer, it's always been my dream to have like a fully patterned singular room, and that's what we did here. Something we obviously also did was added some pops of color. We went with an orange, I think is really cute, and a little bit of yellow as well. And I think it just kind of makes the room more dynamic and fun. When I was originally designing this room, it was like mostly overwhelmingly blue, but I think the pops of color makes it feel a little more special, a little more warm. I think it really ties in the room. I think every home needs a pop of color somewhere. Even if you're a minimalist, you can use a pop of color, whether it's tied into your pillows, maybe it's an accent wall, a piece of furniture. I think pops of color can just add so much to a space and bring a lot of joy. This is what we like to call the green room, or the den. We decided to go with the smallest room for the bedroom and keep this big room for something we can share with friends. This is my pseudo conversation pit area. And what's really cool about this room is it has a hallway right to the main living area, so it's really easy to use as a den. And it also has gorgeous French doors that go out into the patio. So I found these chairs secondhand, and I think they were kind of the biggest inspiration around designing this room. These chairs were so cool. I knew I had to use them, and I was like, I guess we're having a green room in the house. I also paired it with pink. Pink and green is one of my favorite color combinations. We picked the fabric on this couch. It's a modular couch. We also did another wallpapered ceiling. This was very hard to do, but I think it turned out really neat. And something in this room that was a little different, it didn't have the sort of framing, but we still wanted to leave the edges of the ceiling just painted. So we did our own framing with trim here, and these were also recessed lighting that we turned into semi-flush fixtures. And now the ceiling's a beautiful statement when it was just a plain ceiling with canned lights. We also added this little bookshelf here. Another thing about this room is it's my personal closet because it has the biggest closet, and where my clothing line is housed. And one of my favorite parts about this room is these gorgeous doors that go into our patio area. Our patio is probably one of our most used spots in the house. It's a small area, but we really made the most of it. Again, California is all about indoor-outdoor living, so we always have the doors open. Sometimes we'll work out here. We're always hosting, and it's really become our little sanctuary in the city. Some of my biggest inspirations for the color scheme here were Palm Springs and the Beverly Hills Hotel. I really wanted it to feel like a resort and like we're on vacation every day. We really made the most of this space with this seating arrangement. We have a fun fire pit in the middle that we love for entertaining. I think the carpet also really makes it feel like that indoor-outdoor living, blankets, pillows. It's where we have our coffee every morning. It's so cozy. We got so lucky with all of the foliage and landscaping and citrus in our yard. And I think it just adds a fun pop of color with all of the orange. We also have a hot tub. Me and Philip work together at this house. We're here all day long. So we need a place to just relax at night, blow off some steam. And we use it all of the time. I think design is incredibly powerful and can actually change your mood and make you feel more bold and more like yourself. So this is our ADU. When you work from home, having a separate place to work in, even if it's just across the patio, makes a huge difference in actually separating your work and home life. It's also nice because we do rent our house out for photo shoots because it's very bold, a lot of production in LA, and a lot of video shoots. So when we rent the house out for shoots, we just lock ourselves up in here and work all day. Right here is the biggest mural in the house, definitely the most creative. Here's one of my original paintings. I usually don't end up keeping any of my own art for myself because I get a lot of commissioned pieces and we're usually super busy. But I just wanted to keep something fun in this room that felt creative and it felt like it had my touch on it. This little funky couch is actually another pull-out couch. We moved to the other side of town, so we needed a lot of places for our friends to come crash at when we host parties and things like that. I'm so passionate about daring design, whether it's my clothing line or my interior design. I want to make things that bring people joy, feel like they bring out their personality, and give them a sense of bravery.
Like a gong ding dong, everybody sing along, gonna crash like a mighty wave.
Hi HGTV, welcome to our home.
Come on in.
So this is the foyer, this is the main entrance to the home. We have two sets of double doors behind you, and then you can see the grand staircase here. It's obviously all original, it's been restored. This took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to bring back to what it looks like today. We bleached all the pine floors, they're original. If you look at this space, this is what kind of represents what the rest of the house looks like.
So the Iron Victorian is what we named the house. It's built in 1869. Basically the original owner of the house, his name is George Greenaway, and he was a blacksmith. And so the word iron comes from his work doing ironwork, and obviously this home is Victorian style. And it's funny now, it's like people in town are like, oh, there's the Iron Victorian. Like we are the Iron Victorian. Yeah, we don't have names anymore. Yeah, we don't have names, so we're just the Iron Victorian, which is great.
Right off of the foyer is the living room, and this is really the heart of our home. This is where we spend most of our time. Usually you can find this space filled with toys and games and all kinds of stuff. This is where we just live. So the sofas were recovered with a leather that is stain-proof resistant, and so we did a lot of testing. We did wine, mustard, grape juice, and it all wipes up. Even some pen was easy to get off. You know, people are like, oh my gosh, your furniture is like, it's white and we can't sit on it, and you can do anything on this. We have the stone fireplace here. This is original, and actually, when we bought the house, this was painted. It was painted tan, which is so sad because we didn't realize what even it was, and so when we were restoring the floors in here, Michael, my husband, was like, oh my gosh, Christy, this is stone. And he started uncovering that this was marble down here. And so this took forever, but so worth it because it's a showpiece in here. And then of course the frame TV. So we bought the TV and the frames are like $600 or something. And Michael's like, there's no way I can make that and I can make it better than you can buy it. So he DIY'd that and painted it gold and, you know, added a bunch of patina on it to make it feel, you know, authentic to the space. And then also, obviously, there's 5 floor-to-ceiling windows in this space, which just bring in so much natural light. So we hardly have the light on in here. It's just so bright and light, and it's nice to see the yard and the gardens from this room as well. So So this is our dining space, and believe it or not, we actually do eat in here. We have a marble table here that we got secondhand, and a little bit of a modern flair with the black and white striped chairs. The showpiece, obviously, in the room is this beautiful chandelier. Also came secondhand for $200. And then all the architectural elements, right? So when we first looked at this house, we realized very quickly that this house had it all still here. Original doors, original molding, original flooring, the ceiling medallions, it was all still here. It needed love in every single corner, but the original details were here, and that's what spoke to us. So all of the stuff that was sort of done over the years, we removed and peeled it back to its like original format. This is all wood, original molding. The flooring in here is so beautiful. It's got like a striped pattern to it. We exposed some brick when we first started to renovate the house, just as like a fun way to show some original detail also. Okay, so here we are in the kitchen, and this room is actually probably my favorite. Yes, we use it every day, and it's, you know, another one of those heart of the home type rooms, but this one I love because this embodies everything that we believe. We believe that you can make any space beautiful with any budget. You don't have to do a full gut redo every single time in every single room. This is exactly what we did here. So we took what was here and tried to do our best to make it pretty where we could live and love it for a while. So these cabinets were here, we painted them white, changed out the hardware, we did some new appliances, and then, you know, secondhand finds, right? So this is an actual library table from France that we found secondhand. And then, of course, we always have to do something a little bit different. And so we hung all of these dried flowers, and these are all grown from either our garden or Michael's mom's garden. And so we replace them like once a year just to keep their vibrancy, but it's just a super fun way to bring the outdoors in, which we always like to do. One other really fun aspect is this headboard here. So this was a headboard that was broken. It's a Victorian style headboard, and Michael had the idea to make a vent hood out of it. So DIY'd that baby up. But then my favorite is the cabbageware collection over here. So this is sort of a mix of old and new. I have a lot of secondhand finds, some new finds. I have all different brands of cabbageware. This is definitely something that will always be here. I keep it out year round. We use it, we love it. Love the green pop too in the kitchen. So this is our main floor bathroom, and actually the only bathroom with running water in the house. This is where we all bathe. This is where everybody does everything. This was the first room that we renovated when we got the house, because when we bought it, there was nowhere to go to the bathroom. So we knew right off the bat we had to get a bathroom up and running. And we found this original marble top in the carriage house attic. And originally it wouldn't have been used as a sink because there wasn't running water at that time, but they used it as like a wash space where they had like a rag, and this would be like in their bedrooms. We took another Victorian headboard, turned it upside down, and made a vanity here that sort of fit with the space. We have the floral wallpaper and the bowood pattern, and we restored a clawfoot tub. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, this big house and you have this little bathroom. Yes, it's a pain point, but right now it works. It's what we have. So it beats the heck out of, though, when we first got the house, there was a basement shower, and we did go down into the basement and there were shower shoes involved. It was like camping. And it's a story that we tell everybody because people think it's always glamorous, but when you're restoring, renovating, especially an old place, it's not always what you think.
Upstairs is not quite finished yet. The foyer, as you can see, I only painted up as high as I could reach, and you can't see that from downstairs, so I thought it was cool. We still have to do our primary bedroom, our bathroom, and our closet, but what I can show you is our son's room and our brand new nursery. This is our son's room. We were super excited to do this room. Obviously, it's a very special thing. He was our first baby. So I'm gonna just go ahead and address the balloon in the room. This hot air balloon, we were looking for baskets. We were looking for maybe even a real hot air balloon, but they're way too big, obviously, to fit in a house. So I actually made this basket. I hand wove this basket, and then this is made out of PVC that I just bent and formed and then hot glued fabric to it. And then this is actually really special too. My mom restored this, but this was hers as a kid. So she got this for Lincoln and painted it. It was red, which didn't go with the house, so she knew we'd want it painted white, and it goes really great in here, obviously. We just added his big boy bed, got rid of the crib, which we were sad about, but it was time. We went with a Victorian headboard. Obviously, it fits the house. Really, most of this room is a lot of old things, not a ton of modern, so we thought, the light should be modern. And it kind of goes with the hot air balloon. It's kind of the same shape, so we love that. This is going to be the new baby's room. This room was a disaster when we got the house. It was a purple bathroom. All the molding was all ripped out at some point, so that's when we went with the coppered ceiling. I am awful at math, so this was really interesting to figure out, but it turned out really well. So behind me is a little mini motorcycle that we bought online, and then it wasn't quite right, so I actually changed a bunch of different things on it. I painted this motorcycle. This was something that I definitely had to fight for and negotiate for, but Christy absolutely loves it now. The room was feeling really elegant and beautiful, which is great, but it also didn't quite feel like a little boy's room. So we actually wanted to add this kind of industrial partition, expose the brick, so it kind of felt a little more like a loft, kind of like a masculine feel, but then has a little bit of whimsical touch for a nursery. If we have another baby, I don't know, we'll have to come up with something big. Maybe you'll just like have a car bed, but like maybe a real car bed. One of our favorite spaces is actually outside the house. We love being in our gardens, and we're outside as much as we possibly can.
This is our raised planter garden, and these garden boxes were made by Michael. So these were made DIY style, and we wanted them to look like a French sort of planter, not just a regular raised garden bed. So you'll see they have a lot of extra details on them. They have the brass lions and then the brass strapping, just to give them a little bit something extra special, something a little bit different. This side, aside from these roses, is our cut flower bed. And so we use these, we hang these from the kitchen ceiling or to make flower arrangements with. This didn't all come at once. So the first year that we decided to add these raised beds, we did 2 beds. The next year we added 2 more, and the next year we added another 2. So sometimes it's easier just to like add as you go, and that's kind of what we've done here. So this is our greenhouse, and this actually functions as a working greenhouse most months out of the year. And this space we put together to feel like old world, Victorian style. We installed a marble paver floor, and then we just have like all of these patinaed pots with various kinds of plants. This is just a space that we really love to come enjoy, have a cup of coffee.
Thanks for checking out the Iron Victorian.
You are welcome here anytime.